Hello and welcome to this week's edition of RN Champions. I'm your host, Rodney GB Clements. I'm a nurse, and every week I speak with other nurses out there across this great land of the United States and talk to nurses that are doing different things. This week I have with us Dr. David Wilcox, who's a doctorate in nursing, and he's written a book and he has a few things that he's involved with. I'll let him introduce himself and tell us a little bit about what's going on with you, Dr. David.
Sure, Rodney. Thanks for having me, first of all. My name is Dr. David Wilcox, and I am a nurse by background. I also hold my doctorates of nursing practice, but I was one of those nurses who started as an LPN and then went to community college for 2 years, then got promoted to management, had to go for the 4 year and the master's, and then eventually the doctorate. So I've been a lifelong learner, let's put it that way.
That's awesome. Well, tell us a little bit about this book and how you got it published, and what's the main concepts in your book, and what what information you're trying to get out to them.
Sure. So my book is entitled "How to Avoid Being a Victim of the American Healthcare System," and it's on Amazon. I am a self-published author, and when I finished my doctorate, I tried to figure out what I wanted to do next. And I still have a day job. So I was like, I don't want to do my boss's job or her boss's job or any of that stuff. I said, so what's the best thing I can do to give knowledge back? And having raised a multiply handicapped daughter while I was a teenager, basically taking this child from doctor's appointment to doctor's appointment, when I finally got laid off from manufacturing, I decided I want to be a nurse. And so I started going to LPN school because I was on unemployment up in New York State. And then when I got done with my doctorate, I thought, what's full circle for me? And I thought, well, if I could educate that 17, 18-year-old me that was dragging that kid around to doctor's appointments and trying to understand the complexities of the American healthcare system, I said, that's what I want to do. And I sat down in June of 2020 to work on this book, and became my AND job. And I published it in June 2021. And decided to publish it independently because the people I talked to in the business were saying, if you get signed by somebody, they're going to it's going to take 2 to 3 years to get this out. This material is relevant now. So I went that route and financed it myself.
Wow, that is excellent. That's a whole nother story, how to get published, right? I'm sure you could write a book.
Yeah, right.
Right,
Yep.
but that's a good job. And that's great. We love to see nurses doing entrepreneurial things, and we speak to a lot of those. Afterwards, I'll hook you up with some of the contacts I have. But the American healthcare system is very unique, right? There's so many pros and cons to how we run things and how we build things, the cost of things, accessibility, all that kind of stuff. And everybody knows a story of people in the hospital that just kind of get railroaded a little bit, or they're pushing people out of the hospital really quickly. You can't get the right care, get the right specialist. So navigating the whole system is definitely something that's in demand. It could be helpful for people. So that's great. What is there anything specifically in your book, or the biggest hurdles or issues that people are finding, or that you could be helpful with?
Well, as you alluded to, the healthcare system in America is complex, and that's no accident. It's complex, made complex by the entities who vie for your healthcare dollars. So a lot of people will read my book cover to cover. I interject some personal stories in it, but a lot of them use it as a manual. So if they've got, let's say, an insurance company who's denying them, they want to figure out what they can do to get around the denial process, they'll go to that chapter. If they've got a really high-priced pharmaceutical medication, and who doesn't run into that at some point in their life, then they will go to that chapter. I also have a website, drdavidhelps.com, drdavidhelps.com, and I have a free healthcare resource guide with one-click access to a lot of tools in healthcare that people don't even know are available to them.
Wow, that's great. I actually am on Amazon now, my other screen, and I have your book pulled up. So I'm going to order a copy here when we get off, and I'll share that with others. Yeah, that's great, Dr. David. This is definitely something that people need help with, and I was gonna ask you, where can we go to find this information? But you already said drdavidhelps.com, and I'll be checking that out myself. And we will be putting out dailynewsnetwork.com is our marketing firms and our website that we'll also put the link to your book and to this episode, and we'll be sending you this. So yeah, is there anything else that you would want to say or tell people about this situation or your book that we can leave them with?
Sure. So you and I know, Rodney, as registered nurses, that we have an in into the healthcare. We know things that people don't know about the healthcare system. But the average layperson in America does not have that knowledge. And when they need that knowledge, it's usually too late. So what I would say, and as a closing comment, is proactively educate yourself around the American healthcare system. It gives you a fighting chance when you have to enter it, because medical errors are still the third leading cause of death, which is hard to believe with all the money that we pump into this healthcare system. So proactively educate yourself. If it's not reading my book, do your homework and make sure you know what to expect if you get admitted to a hospital, or what to expect when the insurance company denies your claim. It's complex, but there are ways around it, and there's insiders like us who are available to help you.
Great. Well, that's awesome, Dr. David Wilcox. Thank you for joining us this week at RN Champions. I'll be sure to connect with you offline. I'll send you an email. Please go to his website, drdavidhelps.com, or dailynewsnetwork.com. Thanks again, and we'll all be in touch, and we'll see you next week. Thank you.